All right, today we're going to connect the dots on something huge in software development. We're going to uncover the fundamental reason why the entire field of DevOps even exists. And you know what? It all starts with something simple, a single computer. But we're going to see why, for any real application, that is an absolute recipe for disaster.
For this one, we're leaning on a fantastic learning roadmap from the folks over at Leaf Tech Solutions Learning. They do an amazing job of breaking down these super complex tech topics, so let's dive into their approach.
Okay, so let's get right into it. Picture this. You're in a Notes app. You've just typed something brilliant, and you click Save. What actually happens in that tiny fraction of a second? That single click is going to be the focus of our entire story today.
So, let's follow that click. We're going to trace its entire journey from start to finish. And believe me, this journey is the beating heart of pretty much every modern web application you use, whether it's a simple to-do list or a massive platform like Netflix.
Okay, so what's wild about this is just how many different pieces are talking to each other, right? First, you click Save. That happens on the front end. It's what you can see and touch in your browser. That click then zips a message over the internet to a server somewhere. That's the back end. The back end, the brains of the operation, checks the message and has a little chat with a third system, the database. That's the filing cabinet where everything is actually stored. The database says, yep, got it, it's saved, and that success message travels all the way back through the back end to your screen. It's like a three-part harmony, and it all happens in the blink of an eye. Incredible.
Right, so before any of this magic can happen for you, the user, where does the app even live? Well, it starts its life in this special little bubble. It exists entirely on one single developer's computer. You can think of it like their personal workshop or a sandbox where they can build and play.
And look, there's a really good reason for this. Working this way is super efficient for a developer. Any changes they make are instant. Finding and squashing bugs is way easier. And hey, you don't have to worry about an internet connection or racking up huge cloud bills. Honestly, every single professional developer on the planet starts out building and testing their code this way. For that initial phase, it really is the perfect test environment. But, and this is a huge but, that perfect little sandbox, it's actually incredibly fragile. The moment you try to go from just one developer messing around to a world full of real users, the whole setup completely shatters. Let's break down the 4 big ways this perfect world just falls apart.
Problem number 1, and it's a big one, the dependency problem. The whole shebang, all the code, all the data, is completely chained to one single machine. And let's be super clear about what that actually means in the real world. If that one developer's laptop blue screens, the app is offline for everybody. If the developer decides to go to lunch and just shuts their laptop, the app is gone. Battery dies, poof, no more app. You just cannot, under any circumstances, run a real service for actual users on one person's computer. It's just not possible. Okay, so that's problem 1. Now, let's pile on top of that. Problem number 2, the scaling problem. A single laptop only has so much horsepower, right? It's got a limited CPU, limited memory, and you can't just magically make it more powerful.
And this chart just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? For like 10 users. Yeah, the laptop can probably handle it. But what happens when 1,000 people try to use it at once? It slows to a crawl. And 10,000 users? Forget about it. The whole system just crashes and burns. You can't scale a laptop to serve millions of people. It just wasn't built for that.
All right, problem number 3. Let's call this one the sharing problem. Because right now, that application is basically on an island, totally cut off from everyone else.
I mean, really think about this for a second. If the app only runs on that one laptop, how is the quality assurance team supposed to test it for bugs? How are your clients or your boss supposed to see the progress you're making? How can other developers on your team even work with you? The answer is they can't. The app is in a silo, and that makes real teamwork absolutely impossible.
And that leads us right into the 4th and maybe the most frustrating problem of them all, the automation problem. Because everything is stuck on one machine, pretty much everything has to be done by hand.
You know, this is what we call the manual trap. Every single time the developer wants to see the app run, they have to manually start the server. They have to manually click through all the tests. If the app crashes, well, they've got to manually restart it. This whole process is painfully slow, it's inefficient, and, worst of all, it is just begging for human error to sneak in.
So you see all this pain, the dependency, the scaling issues, the isolation, all that manual work. None of this is an accident. In fact, this pain, this collection of massive problems, is the very reason that DevOps was born.
So what's the solution to this absolute mess? This is where the whole story pivots. We're moving from the world of problems into the world of solutions. You see, DevOps isn't just some corporate buzzword. It's the direct, necessary answer to all the pain we just walked through.
So when we ask, what is DevOps? Forget the jargon for a second. At its heart, it's a philosophy, a whole set of practices that was born to answer those exact 4 problems we just walked through. It asks the critical questions. How do we make deployments automatic? How can we scale our app to handle millions of users safely? How do we make our app available to the entire globe? And the big one, how do we finally break our app free from that one developer's laptop?
And this slide just puts it all side by side. It's like looking at 2 completely different worlds, isn't it? On the left, you've got the local world. It's defined by downtime. It can't scale. You can't rely on it, and it has 0 automation. It is absolutely not ready for real users. But on the right, that's the DevOps world. We're talking uptime and availability. We're talking scalability and growth. We're talking reliability and speed. That is a world that is truly production ready.
And this right here is the million-dollar question everything has been building up to. If we all agree that a developer's laptop is fundamentally the wrong place for a real application to live, then where should it live? Where do we put our code to get all that uptime, that scale, and that reliability we so desperately need? Well, that's the question we're going to tackle next time.